The Last Jedi, the second film in the extremely contentious sequel trilogy, is a bit of an anomaly. It doesn't really fit in with The Force Awakens or Rise of Skywalker, being a much more introspective film than either of the other two. A large part of that is due to Luke Skywalker and the way he views the Jedi as a concept during his waning years. But is he right? For the good of the galaxy, do the Jedi need to cease to be? The answer may just be given to us in Rey's new Jedi Order movie. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. Now, we should probably start this off by actually clearing something up about Skywalker's part in The Last Jedi. The movie didn't exactly do a good job of properly explaining why Luke was actually in isolation on Ahch-To. Ask anyone who watched the movie, and odds are the answer you'd get would be something along the lines of, he was hiding out in shame because he felt like he failed Ben Solo when he tried to slash him up, instead of showing him compassion and patience and all that stuff. And I mean, yeah, that is certainly a part of it, but it's not the whole reason. In an exclusive bonus featurette for The Last Jedi, director Rian Johnson explained that Luke didn't hide himself away on Ahch-To because of cowardice and shame, but because of his worries involving what he perceived to be a cyclical pattern of the dark versus light side conflict, and believed that there was only one way to stop it. See, he apparently went to the Vision School of Threat Avoidance, believing that the very existence of the Jedi caused others to rise up to challenge them, inevitably leading to the return of the Sith every single time. And looking throughout the history of the Jedi, both within the main continuity and Legends canon, it's kinda hard to argue with that conclusion. Time and time again, the Jedi Order found itself fractured, facing off against members who may have initially meant well, but who were ultimately corrupted by the dark side, twisted into agents of pure evil. Hell, you can almost set your watch by how regularly that happened in Legends, dating all the way back to when lightsabers still had to use an external battery pack attached via very easily cuttable cables. And Luke had presumably learned all about this history in the intervening years between Return of the Jedi and the sequel trilogy. It was well established that he had spent a long time seeking out knowledge about the Jedi, learning about their connection to the Force and their storied history. So he was more than likely very aware of how these things went down previously. So he hit on Ahch-To to basically wait out the end of his own life and the end of the Jedi along with him, believing that without the Jedi, there would be no dark side to oppress the galaxy. And then Rey showed up and kind of threw a wrench in that whole plan. Now here we are, waiting for a new Star Wars film starring Rey, which is set to show what happens when she attempts to re-establish the Jedi Order proper, carrying on the legacy of all those who came before her. All we really know about the plot of this movie has come from Lucasfilm head Kathleen Kennedy, who said that the new Jedi Order will be in chaos. Perhaps, like numerous other times in Jedi history, a schism will evolve between Rey's vision for the Jedi and that which her students imagine for themselves. And perhaps that will lead to a new brand of Dark Jedi, or even full-blown Sith once again. Maybe the plot of the movie will revolve around a brewing Jedi civil war, like what happened within the Legends canon with Revan and Malak going against their masters to do what they thought was right, only to fall to the dark side of the Force and lead to a new Sith empire. Cause remember, the dark side is a whole lot easier to access than it is to resist. Anger, hate, suffering, all that stuff that Yoda talked about could all create a new type of dark side villain, one who will threaten everything that Rey has worked for, and ultimately prove Luke's worries correct. You know, a lot of people don't want another movie focused on Rey and would much rather Lucasfilm just wipe the sequels from canon entirely. But honestly, I'm sorta looking forward to it. Maybe with the right people at the helm of the project, it'll do for the sequels what the Clone Wars did for the prequels, providing additional context and building upon ideas that ultimately make the previous content look a little bit better in the eyes of fans. That might be some wishful thinking, but you never know.